things last minute and they were dinners, so it's like, just go. And, and it just kind of like fell off the wagon a little. Like, so, but I mean, I'm starting over. I mean, I'm still doing phase one. I'm not like at all mentally there to go to phase two. And, so I'm just sticking with phase one and doing what's easy for me right now. And just trying to do, what can be easy. So, and prayerfully the stress will kind of work itself out over the next, week or so. But yeah, we had a church plant that kind of folded. So we're going to a new church. My husband and I didn't know if we were going to have, like, we thought we were going to lose 50% of our pay. And so, like, our income. So it was just like a whole bunch of stuff going on at one time. And I had a friend pass. And so
Oh,
it's just like a lot of stressors that you don't like you don't think about, even though I'm in prayer and thinking I'm okay, but it's all kind of suppressed. So, I know that about myself. I can do that. So, but so this week's a new week. So
we'll pray for you.
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that, Shelley.
yeah, definitely. Because we never know what direction stuff's going to go in.
Mhm.
Hey, Kimberly. So in week 2, we talked all about the fats, all the different fats, and we need to be eating fats with every meal. Week 3, we talked about stress, going from stress to resilience. And so, Courtney, you just brought up a good point that stress will just knock you out of the game, especially when you said you're holding it in. And I don't know, there's a lot of videos and a lot of things that you can do, but your digestive system just doesn't work right when you're stressed. And you already know this because you've been dealing with it for years, probably. We never know what's going to be thrown at us. I mean, it's so hard to be flexible all the time and stay in that. But
Right. But what I'm realizing is that, like, no matter what, like, I have to still do my best, even for my own health, and not be like totally sidetracked by it, like to really make better decisions in the moments, even when you're stressed and even when you're in a different situation, because it made me feel icky, and all that. So just realizing that too.
well, that's actually a huge revelation right there, because you deal with stress better when you're eating good, and you can just take a lot more on you. But yeah, I feel for you because you guys have been working on that for at least a year. That I think I've known you 7 or 8 months. So
Yeah, it's been 18 months. So
wow.
yeah, I mean, I'm thankful God's providing in another way. Like, we're going back to our home church, so He's still providing financially in that way. It'll be a little less, but we're not losing all of our finances. But it's still a grieving process of all the, like, the blood, sweat, and tears and heart we put into it for 18 months. So just like grieving that loss. But thankfully He's put two churches together that will be stronger. So I'm thankful, but it just still it's a hard thing to go through. So
Yep. We don't get to see all of that sometimes, but everything you put into it is going to come out in another way, in a positive way. So everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Yeah. Tough one, especially when you had somebody pass away too. I mean, there's just so much of that going on right now, but um we, stress is just like a big thing. And I did, the functional nutrition matrix on almost all of you. And I would say that every one of you had, a lot of stuff in the oxidative stress, which is your internal stress. as well as what's going on in your life. So it's really something to pay attention to, even though I've had people that, when they go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh, it's just stress, but they don't want to give you any ways to deal with it except for medication and surgeries and stuff. And people just think it's a dismissal diagnosis, but I don't know. I think most of you have been using the Welltory app, where it definitely shows up on, in the red zone when you don't even feel like there's anything going on around you. And then we talked about the color code of food, getting all the different colors so that we make sure we're getting in all the vitamins and minerals that we need. But tonight, I'm not going to do a PowerPoint. I just wanted to kind of bring in the fact that movement is the next thing. Like, we've got our color code going on. We're trying to get our stress under control, and, we're eating the fats. But the very first week, we talked about the 5 channels of elimination. And in order for all of those to be working properly, we have to have the movement. We have our lymphatic system running around our body next to our nervous system, which is, part of the stress mode that doesn't work right. If, we're blocked with stress, the lymphatic isn't moving. But one of the things that helps open that up and to help with stress is movement. And I'm not talking right now about heavy aerobic exercises or just really pumping iron that, like, I know Joni said she loves to do. She's the woman. And I think Kimberly too has done a lot of weight training and stuff. But when we're in the stress mode, that means that our cortisol and our other stress hormones are pumping like crazy. And those are the things that keep the fat on and create more fat storage, because insulin gets involved with that too. So when we do movement, I'm talking like about walking, Tai Chi, Qigong. One of the best ways ever is just getting outside and walking in the sunshine and the fresh air. And I know that it's cold where some of you are, but just bundle up, go out there. Because our lymphatic system is the fluid that's carrying toxins, that some of our toxins dump into that lymphatic fluid, and it needs to come out. And the only way it can come out is if it's moving. One of those is, one of the biggest drainage areas is in our armpits. So we want to make sure that we're not wearing any antiperspirants or anything that have aluminum in it, because that blocks that. I'm not going to say anything else about that, because I had my chiropractor that made me detox from all those, and just do a little bit of dab of coconut oil or something like that. And I live in a very hot, humid climate. But movement is big in the sunshine, being outside and walking in the fresh air. All of that relaxes us and leads to the other thing I wanted to talk about, is sleeping well at night. If we haven't had enough sunshine or fresh air and things like that, our melatonin and our circadian rhythm can really get goofed up. Shelly, no one is complaining.
So I'm going to put a plug in for one of my side businesses, but I sell for Labri, which is an aloe-based company. And I didn't know about the whole armpit thing until I started wearing ruby ribbon camis, which I don't sell, but oh my God, I love them. They're better for your breast health. And I didn't realize that the lymph nodes under our arms is where we expel a lot of the toxins in our body until I was using Ruby Ribbon, but Labri has a roll-on deodorant that doesn't have charcoal or any of that stuff in there. And I was like, there's no way that this is going to work for me, because I started using it when I was still in menopause, and you're never cold when you're in menopause. And it is amazing. And I learned that it's okay. So I know that I'll sweat under there, but I don't have like, it doesn't come onto my clothes or anything. And so I was just really, really, really pleased with it. And I have 4 of my customers that swear by it, especially those who have started with Ruby Ribbon, because the deodorant, it's not an antiperspirant, it's just a deodorant, but it doesn't have anything in it that's going to block from that. And my armpits aren't black anymore. Like, they weren't black, but they'd have that gray. And I didn't realize that that was bad. And I would always be getting like super duper anti, like mega. Sometimes I use men's because I just didn't want the sweat. So anyway, I can get you guys some if you need it, but I wanted to just put that out there. I had no idea until 158 this past year that that's bad. So
yeah, I mean, well, we've been sold a bill of goods for a long time that we need to have this antiperspirant that actually blocks our toxins from coming out. So, you know, that's another thing you can do is, you know, I don't know if you watched the dry brush video about that, but you take a dry brush and you just put circles under your arms before you take a shower, and then you brush your arms and your body and stuff to get the lymphatic moving. But I'm glad you also brought up the bras, because I have a couple of the Ruby Ribbon bras too. But wearing an underwire bra creates that cartilage right under your breast, and that's where you have a lot of lymphatic nodes or lymph nodes right there, that it gets all hard and stuffed up and everything, and it blocks your lymph from flowing. So you really need the movement and the sunshine, and that also helps you sleep better, because, you know, that's really what we've all been about. Like the last month, we've just been releasing a lot of stuff in our blood and into our bile. That's also full of toxins and other stuff, extra cholesterol and things, hormones. So I don't really like to call it like an official detox, but we're just helping that stuff go. But you have to be moving that lymph around too. The lymphatic system doesn't have its own pump. It's our movement. So I know for myself, when I worked at a desk job, I could sit there for 3 or 4 hours without even moving. And you really need to be standing up at least 1 time an hour, getting at least 250 to 300 steps every single hour. So I'm just going to let you guys talk about sleep, because we've talked a lot about having herbal teas before you go to bed, turning off anything with a blue light, you know, your phone, your TV, computer, everything at least an hour before you go to bed, because it messes with your hormone production for sleeping. No TVs in the bedroom, make it super dark so the melatonin will start working. But, and you know, if there's anything that you want to, hey Laura, if there's anything, you know, you want to say about how you're doing, because I think, what are we on, day 23? Day 24? Feels like we've been doing this for a year.
So I'm not doing very well because it's just been super stressful. So it's kind of interesting that you talk about stress. I had lost like 4, almost 5 pounds, And I just haven't eaten well because it's just one thing after another right now. But because I was upstairs putting on my pajamas, I'm totally in my jammies right now. But I was like, oh, I'm kind of doing what Courtney did and going through the program, but not getting all those big results. But I'm learning so much, and I have already changed so much that I know I might not be following the days and everything like others are, but I'm getting all of that knowledge, and I know that I'm going to do it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to take and detox or whatever for those 2 weeks. And it's going to be great, but I have to get over this hump. We're finishing up my father-in-law's estate, and I think everything will be done by the middle of February. But there's so much stuff and so many deadlines. And then I'm an only child. I do have 2 stepbrothers, but my husband is one of 4. And it's crazy how hateful and hurtful they can get when an estate is involved, and throwing things out there that totally throw you for a tailspin. And that's kind of what's happened. But I think, I know that this program is going to be fabulous. I'm still doing stuff. I still love that lemon water every morning to get my bowels going. Oh my gosh, I'm having the biggest poops. I don't know about the rest of you guys. I mean, I'm like, holy cow, did I just lose 10 pounds? Like, it's crazy. Is that normal?
Yes. Yes, it's normal because
Okay.
a lot of people, especially when they're overweight, they're carrying 10 or 15 pounds in their colon. And the colon is one of the 5 channels of elimination. I mean,
Well, let me tell you, my colon is eliminating. And I am like, when I go to flush, I'm just like, whoa, I cannot believe it. And so I am like totally sold on everything. And I think a lot of that had to do when I was really following that first like 8 days, and I lost the weight, and I was really sticking to it. We were also having snow days. And so I was able to get that avocado and egg breakfast in me. And so that I think is my key, is to get that in me. Right now, like I was cracking hard-boiled eggs at school, trying to eat it really quick before I put any coffee in me. But yeah, it's working. And thank you so much for that cup. I don't have it here right now, but I used it today. It's amazing.
well, it sounds like you're learning a lot about yourself and what makes you feel good. And maybe, when things settle down a little bit, because I know that it's super tough to learn like a whole new routine when you have so much going on, but we're still in the group. We're still doing this. So whenever you're ready to get going full time again, we'll be here. So that's good news about the elimination. That right there is probably 5 pounds. But anyway.
And it's every day.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
that's where that was like amazing to me, that I've had that much to eliminate every day. And I'm thinking, wow, this was crap in my body. All puns intended, I guess. But
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds really weird, but they look different than what I was doing before I got on all of this. And it's great. I'm like, every day I'm like, okay, today's going to be the day that I'm going to get back on track, and then something will happen. But I think I think really tomorrow or the next day will be that day to get back on. So
Yeah, well, I know that you're feeling a lot better with just the lemon water and pooping. So,
definitely. Oh my gosh. And so we've had every single week we've been celebrating someone's birthday at work. And I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to have a teeny tiny bit of their birthday cake, because my mom had always raised me, and so did my mother-in-law, that it's bad luck if you don't try. And see, this is another one of those horrible things we grew up with, but bad luck to the person whose birthday it is if you don't have some of their birthday cake. And so I'll have like a little bitty piece, and then someone else will bring something in and I'll have a little bitty bigger piece. And then the other day, someone brought in some homemade cookies, brownies, and peanut butter balls, and I had one of each, and that was it. And I felt horrible. And everybody knows at work, I tell them I'm doing this functional sugar mastery thing. So don't be shoving stuff in my face. I figured the more I tell, the more my surroundings will help. And afterwards I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so yucky. So it's working.
yeah, it's amazing how you know right away. Yeah, I don't know if you all saw the video I did about this book, Dr. Jensen's Guide to Better Bowel Care, but he actually has some graphic pictures in here I'm not going to show, but where he takes people through this. But he says that, you know, our colon is supposed to be about 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches around, I guess, you know, about like that. And he said that there are some people that are so constipated that it swells up to almost a foot around. And when that poop sits in there, it starts recirculating in our blood and has to go through all the stuff again, but it messes with your brain hormones and everything. I mean, this book was like, he goes to extremes because this is his thing, where he has people doing colonics at home and all this stuff. But anyway, it was pretty interesting that, you know, of course, his stance is that everything is connected to your bowel care. And, you know, everything is connected, not just the bowel care, because we also have our skin that we need to be sweating. Like a lot of heavy metals come out when we detox with sweating. Our lungs, we have to be really breathing deep. And sometimes if you even eat raw garlic, that smell that's coming out is actually toxins from your lungs coming out. And we think it's just because we ate garlic and it's our stomach, but it's actually bringing out toxins in our lungs. So it's really good if you've got respiratory stuff going on to just stomach some raw garlic. I accidentally bought some. I didn't actually buy it. I have some garlic extract at my house, like a little tincture of it. And I had it sitting right next to my bottle of vitamin D, which is liquid. And I grabbed a dropper full of the garlic when I thought it was the vitamin D. Big shock. Anyway, I don't want to do all the talking. I'm going to let you guys talk. So thank you for sharing all that, Joni. Yeah. So who wants to talk next? Okay, Shelley.
I'm doing good. I'm jealous of Joni because I cannot poop like she does. I'm still having a little bit of trouble, which surprises me because I'm losing weight and everything, and I'm eating all the right foods. I'm not cheating at all, but I'm still having problems with that. In fact, I ordered some of that colon cleanse that you talked about in one of your videos. But yeah, for me, it's like every other day that I go. I can't go every day. And I always feel bloated when I can't go. So I have no idea what that is, if that's just me or if I'm doing something wrong. But otherwise, everything is going fantastic since I got the new Renfo scale. I've lost another 7 pounds, so I'm up to like 14 pounds since the beginning. Yeah. So yeah, I feel fantastic. Everything is going well. I'm a little disappointed today, like I was telling you, because I was testing the grapefruit today and ran out of my strips for my glucometer, and Amazon sent me the wrong ones. So now I'm gonna have to just guess on it, I guess.
Well, just do the best you can.
Yeah.
Do the best you can.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
don't want to give
so-
up grapefruit because it was really good. It was almost like a treat to have grapefruit on my salad. I was like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I guess everybody saw the thing in the group about don't even test grapefruit if you're on those medications that I listed, or
Yep.
really any medications. So yeah, so about the poop. Yeah. So when we were talking about stress, stress is another thing that blocks the poop. Because, you know, everything's just not moving through, but getting outside walking, getting
Yeah.
some movement, because I have been a couch potato forever. It showed, but it's one of the hardest things to do, but you always just feel so amazing, especially after you just go out and get some sunshine and soak it in, and you don't really even need your phone with you,
Yeah.
and just you know, just connect.
That's the one thing that I still need to work on, is the movement, because you'd think that I would be getting more exercise since I'm working remote 4 days a week, but it's almost the opposite, that I feel like I got more exercise when I was going into the office every day. So the most exercise I get is when I'm walking around cleaning up the house when I get done with work, and you know, vacuuming and stuff like that, because otherwise I'm virtually not getting any exercise. And I can sit here for hours and not get up from my desk. So that's another thing that I have to get into the habit of reminding myself to get my butt out of the chair and move.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a little thing on my phone that pops up 10 minutes before the hour if I haven't had enough steps, to tell me to get up and take a walk now. Let's take a stroll. But yeah. I forgot what I was going to say about that, but yeah, the movement and just getting that lymph moving, because it relaxes us, so that the peristalsis, or the movement through our intestines, will move that out, because definitely want to be going every day. So for sure. And if you're eating right, because this, you know, this was chronic for me when I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I didn't know you were supposed to be going every day. I mean, it might be 2 or 3 times a week. And I felt horrible, but I don't know. I just didn't know why.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But, you know, the other ones would be, you know, I talked about the lungs, the skin, and sweating. The kidneys are the other one. So the lemon juice and everything helps with that, because when our liver turns a lot of the toxins into water soluble, which come out the kidney, and the fat soluble ones will come out the bile. So, and there's still stuff, you know, draining into our lymph nodes too, that we need to be moving it, because if it just sits there, we, you know, end up where we get all puffy and swollen and everything, you know. And I think I already talked about the underwire bras that they just cut off the lymph system right underneath your breasts. And that's causing a lot of issues with lumps in your breast and other things that can happen. And, you know, all the lymph nodes under here are right by our breasts. So I know I used to shave my pits and then put on aluminum antiperspirant right after that. And, you know, it's just going straight into that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that you're doing amazing, Shelley, and you've been on here this whole time and you haven't coughed one time.
Yeah. I've been drinking, and today was a bad day. When I was working, I was coughing and coughing, but I had a really stressful day at work too. And my husband is still convinced that stress has something to do with my cough. But since I've been done with work, I've been drinking lots of water and herbal tea, and it's helped.
Yeah, it could be it. And you're doing really well on testing the starchy carbs and the fruits. So the marshmallow root tea that you've been drinking coats the intestinal lining and helps it rebuild, because it only takes like 3 to 5 days to actually rebuild that whole gut lining.
Right.
So marshmallow root tea and slippery elm tea and L-glutamine, those things really just coat your intestinal lining to give it a chance to rebuild. So
And I'm still doing the full pot of marshmallow root tea in the morning. I add in just 1 teaspoon of peppermint leaves and then a little chunk of ginger.
okay. Yeah, that sounds good, because I don't see any food sensitivities coming up on you, which is a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, you're doing great. Courtney, you were talking earlier. Do you want to say anything else?
No, just kind of, I mean, that's just kind of what I'm going through. Just trying to eat better, even under stress, you know, and just realize that it helps in the long run. And then my body also has been adjusting to, I was getting adjusted at the chiropractor 3 times a week for, gosh, 6 months. And now I'm back to once every 3 weeks. So my body's also adjusting to that, because that helps. The chiropractic adjustment helps my stress so much. I think all that is, you know, just kind of playing into it. I am a little disappointed in like the lack of weight loss, but I know, you know, I've just kind of maintained, which is better than gaining. But I obviously want to do this, you know, to lose weight, but like my habits and with stress and my eating need to change in order for that to happen. So because I'm not, you know, I do, like, I'll do good, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody says, oh, we have to have a meeting and we'll have dinner, and you're like, ah, you know, it's like last second during all of this, you know. So it's just been okay, just go with it. And it's been like, like, you don't notice how many carbs people eat and put out until you're like doing this, and you're like, whoa, that was nothing but a carb meal. You know, so not even a single vegetable in sight. But yeah, so just you're just eating, you know, a salad that is like they already put the dressing on, and you're like, oh man, you know. But yeah, so it's just kind of learning and adjusting, and you know, just and being more positive in it, I think. My wins versus the negatives too. I think
Yeah.
that's hard for me sometimes. So yeah, so just knowing that I can do it, and knowing I just need to stick with it. And you know, I did watch, because I've missed the last couple. I did watch the videos. So yesterday, actually, the last couple weeks. So that was helpful, and started the Welltory app thing. So um, yeah, the first time I did it, I was like all green. I was like, yay. And then the next time I did it, I was like, they're like, you know, I felt like they were like flashing a warning sign at me with my high stress levels last night. So, but yeah, so I will be doing that more and more, but I'm, you know, just plugging along, I guess, right now, and prayerfully, and, you know, by next week with kind of some things being finalized, it'll be good. But but my pooping's been good too. So been glad about that. Since we're all
I'm so
sharing.
happy we all feel comfortable talking about poop now. Thanks, Joni.
But yeah, but thank you for asking. And yeah, just you know, just doing what I can do, I guess, and trying to focus on the good things and keeping the good things going. So
Yeah, focus on the good things and small things that make a big difference. Yeah. Thanks, Courtney. You're going to get this. We're going to get that stress taken care of. Kimberly, you've just been rocking it.
Yeah, once I started late. This is day 14 for me, so I'm behind everybody else. But yeah, once I was able to jump in, it's been going well. I'm at 12.3 pounds down.
How much?
12.3.
Woohoo.
Yep. So, pooping. Ha. I got banned from the half bath in the house because I clogged it 2 days in a row. So one morning I got to get up and unclog 2 toilets. Yes. So now my husband's afraid to use our bathroom. He goes downstairs and uses the bathroom in the basement because he doesn't know what's gonna happen.
That's
But I feel
hilarious.
And what helped me, I started putting some chia seeds on my salads, and that kind of kick-started things into moving a little bit better because I was having some problems for a while too. I'm going to shout myself out today. I think I'm the only person in Missouri, and they are calling for 2 to 3 inches of sleet tonight, and then 6 to 10 inches of snow on top of that tomorrow. So
Wow.
I've been prepping for that today and made cauliflower soup today. And so that's good to go and ready. And I did some work outside because it was 63 degrees today. And that's why we're going to get the sleet and the ice tonight. But I was really proud of myself because I went downstairs and got my husband about 3 o'clock and said, "Can you take a 30-minute break?" And he said, "Why?" I said, "So we can go for a walk." So we did that, and we walked almost 2 miles with the puppies to get some sunshine and some fresh air in before we are homebound for the next 3 days. Because once this is supposed to switch to snow, it's raining now, and then it'll go to sleet between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. And then we're supposed to get snow between 8 and 9, and then it's supposed to snow for about 36 hours. So that's not typical for us in St. Louis area.
No.
We usually get about 1 good snow a year. So I'm reminding myself that it won't last long. But so we've been prepped for that. And I realized tonight I'm almost out of tomatoes. So that's not going to be fun, but I've got lots of other things that I can eat. So that's what I've been doing. Sleeping's been getting better. I've been doing my sleepy time tea, and I got this. You guys were talking about the magnesium lotion, and that's what this is. And it's got all kinds of stuff in it, but it's got lavender, magnesium, melatonin, hemp oil, lavender oil, evening primrose, chamomile, cocoa, aloe, vitamin E, Roman chamomile, and Hydrovance liquid germal plus, so it doesn't get germs in it. I've been putting this on my lower legs and feet, and I've been sleeping better, and it smells really, really good too. I've been sleeping better because I always, as a nurse, we always put Vicks on babies' feet, not on their chest, but on their feet, and it would help open up their chest. And this has really helped me at night. I've probably had it for a week now, and I don't know if it's because it's a new bedtime routine. You know, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I get in bed, I take off my socks, I put on my lotion, and then I kind of cuddle into my little cocoon. But I really, really like this. I found it on Amazon, and it's and it says GMO free, and it's made with distilled water too. That was the
It's
other thing.
called Dream Whip.
Dream Whip body cream.
It sounds wonderful. I've never ever heard of putting melatonin into a body cream.
I can post the link in the group if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I can post
Yeah.
the link after we get done here. And
Yeah.
it's not super strong. You know, sometimes you get them and it's so strong that it'll give you a headache. And it's kind of strong when you first put it on, but it fades nicely to a nice, gentle
Yeah.
scent.
I have some magnesium lotion, body or sleep lotion that I put it on right here and also on my thighs.
Maybe I'll try that.
And
but-
sometimes I'll even rub it over my heart.
Yep. And so,
Yeah.
but as I don't even remember how I found it, but I was like, ooh, this looks like it has all good things in it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome
It
because
was a good find. I did all of my colors.
yay.
So I was excited about that. And sometimes I was getting up to like 5, 6, 7 of each of, colors throughout the day. So
No wonder you're clogging up toilets.
well, I love basil. I'd had 4 huge basil plants all summer. And so I've just now made it through all the basil that we've dried. And so I bought fresh basil. And so I just throw a handful of basil in, pretty much anything. And eggs. Oh, Joni, that's what I was going to tell you. You said the eggs, and you see how I make my eggs. We call them scromlets, because I do flip my scromlets like a pancake. And I put my spinach in those type, or basil or whatever it is I'm doing. You can make those ahead of time and then just put like a sheet of parchment between them and put them in a Ziploc and stick them in the fridge, kind of like my kids, we do that with the kids too, to make frozen pancakes. But you can do that and then take them out and microwave them for 30 to 40 seconds and have your eggs that way too. They're really good leftover. It's kind of like, or doing the muffins, because the muffins are also pretty good leftover. We make big batches of the egg muffins, because what I found is if they're in the fridge, the kids will grab those instead of cereal or whatever. Well, the teenage boy will grab both, but they really like it. And so, and then you can kind of fold it up, and I'll put avocado slices in it and fold it like a taco and eat it that way too. So it's a quick, easy thing to grab and go before you're going to work or wherever. But that might be a way to help you get a good, healthy breakfast in, because I know if I don't eat well for breakfast, I have a hard time getting into it for the rest of the day. So just a little trick.
And I feel like the temptation is right there if I don't get, and I love breakfast.
Mhm.
So it's not hard for me to really eat breakfast, but that's a great idea to make them, and then I can just grab them. I've done the muffins too. But yeah, I like that idea, because then I can put like an avocado or something in there and get it that way. But yeah, boy, if I mess up that morning routine, then the rest of the day is, I mean, I try to be good, but it doesn't always work.
I think it's easier for me to give in to temptation if I didn't start my day off on the right foot. And so that's why I get up, I've got my, I do 24 ounces of lemon water in the morning. So I have like a specific cup that I pour it all, and I put my lemon in and everything, so it's ready to go in the morning when I get up. And I drink all of that before I start my breakfast and get the kids off to school. And then I can make my breakfast or grab my breakfast out of the fridge. But yeah, it was just a thought.
That's a really good idea. I mean, you could even really make those really thin and roll up the taco meat in them and even put lettuce around that and stuff. Yeah. That's a really good idea to use for shells. For sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing those ideas. Yeah.
And I've been putting a teaspoon of coconut oil in my Creo brew in the mornings too. And that's good, because it was the thing for a while. Everybody was putting butter in their coffee. right? You know, and I used to sweeten my my coffee, which I've gone without coffee for almost 2 weeks now. Yeah, I know, right? And I'm an espresso drinker, so that's a big deal. Yep. I just kind of backed it off and I switched to the Creo brew and I really like and I like it. Um, but instead of putting any type of sweetener in, I just do the coconut oil and it gives it a creamier texture. And sometimes I still do my almond milk, but I still put that in there in the mornings and a little bit of cinnamon.
It almost makes it sweeter, I think.
I do too.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Kimberly. That's some great ideas for sure. It sounds like you're doing fantastic. I mean, over 12 pounds in 2 weeks. That's amazing.
It's some big poos is what that was.
Well, it's got to come out somehow.
Well, but it's like once I go, I'm like, oh, I feel better. You know,
So
I used to just go, but now I go and I'm like, oh, that's better. It's a weird thing, but when you have that feeling, you know.
yeah, well, it's a huge relief for sure. So are you doing the stretch bands or any kind of stretch movements?
We've just been walking so far because we've had oh, well, I say that yesterday we went and hit like 100 and some odd golf balls too. And so that was fun. But we've been walking a lot just because it's been so cold. And I've been researching because I've always wanted to do Tai Chi. And so I think I found some videos where I can learn how to do Tai Chi at home. So I might make the kids do that with me tomorrow on our snow day.
It's really fun. Yeah, check out my friend Jennifer in the group too. She does it. She's Tai Chi with Jennifer, and I think she has videos and she does online classes, but
Oh, cool.
yeah, but just join her Facebook group.
Okay.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks, Kimberly. Okay, who jumped off? Everything moved around, so I don't know what's going on, but Laura, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing pretty well. So it's kind of the same as my last update where I'm sticking to the phase 1 foods. I did test a couple, but I'm not very good at testing foods. I tested mango and that was fine. And then I kind of went crazy and ate a bunch of mangoes. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that or not. Once you test a food, can you eat as much of it as you want or?
No.
Okay.
Good question.
I assumed I wasn't doing it right, but they were really good. So
Well, I mean, there's a lot worse things that you could do that on.
and then I made something with carrots in it, but I forgot to take my blood sugar. So that's why I'm not very, but I am having I think I'm having something tonight. Oh, maybe not. But yeah, so I'm just not, I haven't really been testing it much. Let's see, but just kind of the same. I'm still not drinking enough water. I'm not exercising that much. Really the only thing I'm doing well is sticking to the food list, I would say. But I am, except for the mangoes, but yeah, so yeah, that's about it. I think I haven't been, my dog is sick, so I haven't been sleeping the best. And what else? I think that's all I really have to say. I am losing a little bit. It's slowed down, but I lost like 2 pounds or 2.5, I think it was.
Since the last time. So
yeah.
How much have you lost altogether?
Total, it's like 10.5.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, 2.5 is really, really good for me. I think usually like 1.5 or 1 is like what I aim for. So, because I think like I always thought 2 was kind of aggressive. So yeah, I think I'm definitely happy with 1 or 2.5 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, everyone goes at their own pace, but yeah,
Yeah.
when it comes to the starchy vegetables and the fruits, usually depending on your tolerance, but if you go over a half a cup at a time,
Mhm.
it's going to bump you out of the fat loss area because your blood sugar is going to jump out of the lane.
Okay, so I should test those foods at one time and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean, test them the one time, and then if it goes too high after like 40 minutes after you start eating it, then you just want to test maybe a quarter cup of that food.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
it always just depends. But if your blood sugars are, this is, not just you, but like everyone, because your blood sugar's been all over the place. And but in the morning, if it is over 100, if mine does that, I don't test any carbs that day, any of the starchy carbs or the fruits that day. I just stay on phase 1 for that day until I get it back down under 100. Because I like to be in the 80s because that's really the ideal place to lose weight, the easiest to lose weight, put it that way. But I know there's a couple of you on here that haven't tested your blood sugar yet. Or you're still trying to, okay, so there's a few of you that you're still trying to get up the nerve or figure it out or whatever. So, but yeah, the ideal is between like 77 to 88 is what they say is usually the ideal range for most people. But of course, everyone's different because a lot of us have been losing weight even when we're over 100 or in the 90s. So
I do eat late at night and have snacks, so that might be throwing it off too.
oh yeah,
I'm like eating
Probably.
fruit at night, so
yeah, that's probably what's doing it then.
yeah, I might be eating too much fruit in general, but I don't really know how much I'm supposed to eat. So,
Well, I generally don't eat any fruit after 1 p.m. And then in the evenings, if I want a snack, it's usually like a protein and a fat and, maybe some lettuce or something like that. Like you can roll up a piece of turkey and lettuce with some walnuts or I don't know. There's a lot of ideas on that, but you still want the snacks to be balanced because if you just eat fruit by itself, straight sugar.
okay,
Yeah.
so
So.
yeah, that's all I have to say.
And sometimes even just protein by itself will make your blood sugar
Well,
go up.
okay. And one thing I learned this week is I started using a pressure cooker to make a bunch of hard-boiled eggs. That works really fast. And the peels, the like eggshells come right off too. And then I learned how to do like bacon in the oven. So I just put it on like a sheet pan and cook it all at once. So those are
Awesome.
like 2 little time-saving things I
Yeah.
started to do.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing those shortcuts.
Yeah.
Eggs in the Instapot or whatever are super easy.
Yeah, I love how
I have a
fast it is.
question.
Okay.
Sorry. I have a question. So like the snacking, the late night snacking, like I fall into that once in a while where I just want something. And I've been drinking my Dandy blend and been being okay. If I like feel like I want something. But what about like nuts in the evening or pumpkin seeds or something like that, like to have like a few or something like that? Is that bad?
No, that's actually not bad
Okay.
because they
Okay.
won't raise your blood sugar. That's what we talked about in I think the fats one too, that if I'm just like, I can't sleep when feel like I'm hungry. So I'll just go get a teaspoon of peanut butter or eat some walnuts, or not peanut butter. I don't even have that in my house, but walnut butter or some kind of nut butter and just let it melt in my mouth, or fat bombs. They're already balanced, and the nuts and the seeds those are just fats, so that's fine. And some people mix like a little bit of protein with that, but you don't have to. I don't think you don't have to, because it just doesn't affect it, but it makes you feel full and it takes care of that craving. Pumpkin seeds are super good for zinc and magnesium, and they help you sleep and stuff. Yeah, I've noticed that too, that if I stay up too late, then I start getting that cortisol bump where I feel like I'm getting my second wind, because I know Kimberly said this too, that I worked third shift for a long time and you had to be like awake in the middle of the night. But as soon as that kicks in, then I start feeling like I'm hungry. And I was like, darn it, why didn't you go to bed at 9:30 or 10 and you wouldn't be dealing with this now?
Yeah, that is definitely part of my problem, like my schedule. Like I work a lot at night. I do a lot of my work at night. Like, so I really need to just get on a better schedule with that. And I mean, I sleep in a little bit more, but I still get my 8 to 9 hours. But yeah, I'm just probably staying up too late because I'm eating dinner at like 5, and then by 10 I'm like, oh, I need something, and but I think the pumpkin seeds will be good for me because I don't know, weirdly lavender and melatonin actually keep me up. Like I'm the type, like if I take an NyQuil, it'll actually keep me up through the night. So I can't, like I don't know why, but it just happens that way for me. So but I think probably the pumpkin seeds will help me maybe to relax too if I need a little something. So good to know.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, everyone's different. So probably the way that you're metabolizing everything, and our cortisol hormone is what it starts cranking back up at about 10 o'clock, so that when we wake up the next day, it's like a ski slope. So we have energy in the morning. But if we're awake when it starts to go up, it actually just keeps us up. So okay, Tanya. Thanks, Laura. You shared some good tips too.
Yeah. Yeah, all of you have been very interesting. Quite a few tips on here. I've been writing them down. So I don't know where to start. I know I've lost 12 pounds.
Yay.
Yeah, unbelievable. I just don't weigh myself every day, wait for a few weeks and it'll be a big surprise. To go to sleep, I think there's times I've used lavender, and I'll read before bed too. If the kittens allow me to, that is. They've been a little harder they wake me up in the morning, even though I don't want to get up. Routine is probably the hardest thing for me. I don't get enough water. I have to set an alarm now with my phone to get up in the morning, so I shouldn't. That's probably disturbing me at night now. But I don't want to set up the other alarm clocks in the room, so I don't use them anymore. Exercise I haven't been doing. I do have an arrow garden, so I'm growing my own lettuce right now. That's one thing. I want to grow some basil. It's hard to find that in the stores right now. That, and I haven't run into pumpkin seeds either. I've searched everywhere for them. My energy seems to be way up. Going out. Now, I've done that quite a few times. I've heard you guys mention that. But now, I was running around yesterday and I ended up with Wendy's. I'm like, what was it? The pecan apple salad was pretty good. Still had a lot of stuff in it that was healthy. So, and my mother had the taco salad. I told her that is the worst. Everything in there was fattening.
Oh
I
my
also
goodness.
I also was stuck in Madison one time shopping, running errands, and couldn't get home to eat, but we went to Who Hut, that, what is that, Japanese place or whatever. I still ended up with a lot of vegetables and that there too, so there's some options out there.
Yeah. Well, it's your energy does seem like it's a lot better than it was.
I feel so hyper. I probably need to get out and run around. It was 40 degrees today, so it's pretty nice out.
That's a heat wave.
Yeah, it is.
It was 60 here and it was freezing. It was like a cold wind with it.
Oh, that's the worst. Goes through you.
But I'm thankful I'm not getting the snowstorm Kimberly's getting.
We're not supposed to have anything all week, so
Okay.
it's a good thing.
Well, the
Just cold.
sunshine makes our melatonin just start working naturally at about 9 o'clock and it just start winding us down. It just wants to kick in.
It's probably
Yeah.
why I have so much energy too.
It could be. I don't know. I mean, we have the hormones going around all the time, but they all work together. So
Right.
when you've got the sunshine and everything, your body just naturally knows that it's your circadian rhythm, that it's time to go to sleep, and it starts making melatonin if you don't have your computer and your phone and all that blaring at you, messing up that cycle. So
I had
anyway.
someone tell me once to have walnuts before you go to sleep, that they help you sleep. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe we should test it.
It probably is because they got the fats, magnesium, and a bunch of other stuff in them, but I would say they probably will. Walnuts have just like one of the best nutrition profiles of any of the nuts, but they all have something different, but walnuts are a good one. I've never tried them to go to sleep, but you never know.
Yeah, neither have I really, but
I'll test it.
Okay.
I can start tonight because I have a big bag of them in our pantry. And I already, while you guys were talking, I already went and bought the cream on Amazon. So I'll just test everything and see how it goes. But I'm going to try the cream on my husband, who does not go to sleep well. So, but I'll eat the walnuts tonight.
hey, just be careful with that. You don't want to do everything at once. You might not wake up in the morning on time.
That's
Well,
true. But I have a cat and he wakes me up. He'll sleep over by my husband, who doesn't like cats and is allergic to them. But
Yeah.
I know he secretly loves Snape. Anyway, Snape will come over and just start, it's at least he's doing it softer. It used to be really loud. A meow at like 5:15, 5:30. And so I've gotten him to let me at least sleep till 6 because I have to be at work a little after 7. So I do have to get up. But yeah, I won't do everything at once. But I do have a student teacher right now. So if I do oversleep, she's got it.
That's good.
all right, Tanya, well, it sounds like you're doing really good, even when you do go out. Like I went out with my mom the other day for just, we went and got pedicures and we went and had lunch, but the Japanese place had stir-fried vegetables and shrimp. I think I got shrimp or chicken, and then half the plate had rice on it. So I just left that part, but it was, you know, and I told them no sauce or anything like that on it. So
Was it Who Hut? Who Hut?
no, it was
No.
Ikebans.
Who Hut? You mix your own sauces. So they did have a lemon juice, a lime juice. They have different ones where you can mix them and make your own concoction. Or they have recipes up above too. And the rice is in a bowl on the side, so you don't have to have any.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I want to getting to where I can just go anywhere and still find something. Because this afternoon I had an appointment with two of my clients that are both men, both single men. And they one of them was visiting the other one, their cousins, and I'm like, well, where are you guys going tonight for dinner? And they're like, well, where do you want to go, Tami? I'm just like, man, I have a date with two handsome men, but no, here I am, you guys.
That's great.
I said, no, I can't do it tonight, but maybe tomorrow. But anyway, they're like, well, you're such a picky eater. Like, where do you want to go? And I said, I can go anywhere. We're good. So,
Careful, you might end up in a bar eating greasy food.
well, especially in Alabama, because what the guy in the one of them was talking about the Long Island iced teas and the music at the Greasy Spoon front porch. And I was just like, no, I don't think I'm having any Long Island iced teas. But anyway, I don't care what they do.
You guys were talking about going out, and my husband and I have found a couple of good places to eat. And one of them, I've been craving pizza so bad. It's one of the things that I have missed. And so we found this one. It's a cauliflower crust, mushrooms, tomatoes, red onion, herb ricotta, arugula, and then instead of sauce, they did a lemon basil vinaigrette. It was so good.
Where?
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
At Top Golf. I don't know if you guys have Top Golfs up there, but it was at Top Golf. And so it was like our date, and we wanted to do something before the weather got bad. And I was like, I probably can't find anything to eat there. So there was another place close by that we could have gone to, and we'll try it a different day. But they had that. And I'm like, I think I can, and it's gluten-free, and it's, and I was just like, I was really excited. My numbers were a little bit higher this morning, but not a lot. I mean, within like 5-10 points of what they had been. So I was like, that's not too bad for, once a month or something like that when we go out instead of eating at home. But so you can look, you just have to dig a little deeper to find those things. And I was surprised how good a cauliflower crust actually was.
Yeah. More and more places are starting to come around. There's an oven baked pizza by me that has the cauliflower crust, because like Mellow Mushroom has a gluten-free crust, but it's just made out of cardboard. I mean, that stuff is nasty.
Well, that's a little bit what I was afraid of, but it was so flavorful. And I love even regular pizza. Back when we were eating that, I love a cracker crust, a really thin cracker crust. And it was crispy and it was good. And the arugula and everything on it, it was overflowing. I should have taken a picture and I forgot. But it looked like a salad with a little bit of a cracker on the bottom of it, but it was really quite tasty. And it's not something that I ever would have tried a month ago. But being on the plan and learning what foods are good for me and what I should avoid has kind of pushed me outside of my comfort zone and my box. So I never ever would have ordered that before this program. And so I'm excited to be able to find things like that so we can still have a date night, and get out and away from the kids. But yeah.
Shelly.
So just keep your eyes out and find, because we looked at the menu before we went out to decide a plan. And so when we got there, there was no being tempted by the special or being tempted by, the 3-course meal or any of those things. And I had my lemon with my water, and I had 2 big cups of water while we were there. And it was a lot of fun. But so that was another trick I wanted to share, is try to find your menus online so you can plan it before you go.
That's a really good idea, because there's a lot of places that you can just get salmon and vegetables. I mean, but you're spot on to say try to plan ahead a little bit and make it about being with the other person and not really all about the food. So, but yeah, that pizza sounds amazing. Hey, Rosie, we're just about to hang up. We've been on here over an hour. Just say hello. Can you
Hello.
unmute? Oh, there you are. So you're not at work this week.
Today no, but tomorrow yes. I worked 18 hours yesterday, and I came home about 2 o'clock in the morning. But I'm doing well. I feel good, and eating healthy, because I know I can see my blood sugar is 91, 89, drinking a lot of water. I'm doing amazing. So, and I feel a lot of energy. I'm not sleeping all day like before, that I was sitting in the couch and I feel so sleepy all day. No, not anymore. I'm so good. I feel so good. And the cherries, I eat 3 cherries yesterday. I was trying. I know I don't supposed to eat that. But I just was trying. Somebody gave it to me, and I'm sure it was not too bad today. So it was 91.
Yeah. Well, as time goes on, I mean, you can eat a little bit of this and that. It's just kind of what's going to trigger you to just say, oh my gosh, I want to eat like the whole pantry or something right now, because
Yeah, no, I eat a little bit. Eat a little bit.
yeah, like most of you know that I don't really believe in good foods and bad foods. It's just more about what's going to make me feel the best and what's going to make me feel like poop. Since
I know.
we've been talking about poop for the last hour.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I'm doing better with that too. So I'm doing good. Yeah,
Okay.
because once in a while I do my green smoothie, just green kale. I put parsley, celery, and I put a green apple, and I put cucumber and curcumin, and what else? Lemon, and just water. And I put it in the blender and I do my smoothie and clean me out.
That sounds great.
Yes.
Well, this is our 5th Zoom session, so probably not going to have any more group sessions, but we may do another one next week. I don't know, since we're on day 23 or 24, and some of us, I know there's a couple people that were going to be starting later, but in Kimberly's on day 14. But I may do just another kind of session, maybe some kind of a webinar. I don't know. I have like 8 different webinars right now, workshops that I'm working on. So I'm working on some seasonal cleansing things that are about 2 weeks that still go along with this program, but they're just specialized for 2 weeks on certain things throughout the year, like spring, summer, fall, and winter. They're kind of like a detox, cleansing, clean eating. I mean, just, kind of short versions of the sugar mastery, but more focused on getting the toxins out, because they're saying now, a lot of new studies coming out now that all the toxins in our environment are what is making us so resistant to weight loss, and our fat cells just don't want to let those go, of the toxins that it's holding on to. And
Yes, I
I
was reading a little bit about that, and we have a lot of stuff in our system that we had to flush that because and try to eat a little bit more clean as possible we can. You know, sometimes the things at work because the other day was telling me we have pizza there, you know, like usually, and I say no, thank you, I don't eat that. And I say, and then I see a lot of people they was getting 3 pieces. And I say, I don't want to eat that. I cannot eat it. Sorry, they offering me a lot of bunch of things, and I cannot eat that. Mm-mm. Not for me. I
yeah,
say thank
well,
you.
and it's not just in our food. We can't avoid some of the things that are in our environment and things that we were exposed to. And now they're saying that it's even multi-generational, that even the stuff that our parents and grandparents were exposed to, that some of those toxins are passing on genetically. So
We have to learn a little bit more from you, Tami.
yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I really,
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed this. This has been super fun. I'm so grateful that all of you have been so open and willing to share all your ideas and tips and tricks, because I definitely don't know everything. I'm learning so much from all of you. It's been amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't even know why I'm getting tears in my eyes, but thank you all so much. I'm really grateful for everything that you've done and all your participation in the group. But we still have, what, 6 days to go on the 28th day, and Kimberly's got 14 days. But it doesn't matter the amount of days. We just keep going. So,
Yeah. Another thing since August that I start this plan, I will continue with that. I'm not changing anything. I'm eating the same thing. So just trying to eat
you're still
better and
eating
better and better.
you're mostly eating phase one. You have a little bit of
Yes,
quinoa sometimes and
sometimes. Ooh, but sometimes it's very seldom that I eat that. But I eat cauliflower rice. That's what I eat. If not, I just eat just plain, just like that. Like my dinner and my lunch today was a little piece of chicken and soup that I make a soup, and that's it. With I tried the carrots today.
Mm.
I put some carrots and I eat carrots today. So I say, oh my God, I'm gonna eat it. So see what happened tomorrow, but I still in phase one.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, we've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes, and Shelly's already drank 32 ounces of water, and I've just about finished my 32 ounce on this.
I have my legs crossed.
I was going to say, you probably need to pee. But
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
that's good. Okay, well, let's call it a night, and I'll be seeing you guys in the group, and we'll be getting together again. So
Thank you.
talk to
Good
you all
night.
later. Love you guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.